Ever since I became a digital nomad, my life has completely changed, from working more than 10 hours per day to enjoying life at the beach. But being a digital nomad is not only fun. Being a digital nomad also means overcoming a lot of struggles and challenges. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to overcome the biggest struggles that I had and give you valuable tips so that this doesn't become this. I know that it seems kind of obvious, but bad Wi-Fi is a real issue. People on Airbnb don't always tell the truth. They say that the place has Wi-Fi, which technically is true, but what they don't tell you is it can be very slow. Or that it's kept at a certain data limit. For digital nomads, this is a huge problem. No matter if you're downloading files or uploading materials, watching tutorials, or just attending meetings or Zoom calls with your colleagues. All of that is basically impossible with bad Wi-Fi. To solve this issue, I can give you two possible solutions. Solution number one, don't work at the Airbnb. What you can do instead is just go out and work at a cafe. Most cafes have free Wi-Fi, and from personal experience, the speed is more than enough for working. The other thing that you can do, if you can afford it, you can go and work in a co-working space. But honestly, working in public places might not be for everyone. With people running around, loud noises, and constant distractions, it can be really hard to concentrate. So if your place has bad Wi-Fi, but you still want to work from home, here's what you can do. Solution number two. Get a good plan for your phone and use it as a hotspot. Instead of paying 10 USD for 3 gigs, just pay 25 for unlimited data. And boom, you can work from anywhere, even in your Airbnb. This is probably your best bet if you have very slow Wi-Fi and you're not comfortable working in a cafe. The next big problem a lot of digital nomads have: budgeting issues. You already spend a lot of money on traveling and accommodation, but you also want to enjoy all the exciting new things like delicious food and making memories that will last forever. The digital nomad lifestyle can be very hard on your wallet. And I hate to break it to you, but there's only one solution to that. You have to become good at budgeting. Period. In order to do that, the first thing that you need to do is learn to keep track of your expenses. You can either use an Excel spreadsheet, or if you're old school like me, write them down in a notebook. You also need to track your income. This is especially important if you do not have a steady income, or for example if you get paid for projects or on a commission base. If you know your average income as well as your average monthly expenses, it's pretty easy to calculate how much money you have left for eating out or for fun activities. Don't spend more than that, and you're good to go. But keeping track of your income and expenses is only half of the equation. The other half is come up with ideas to save some money. I used to go out and grab a cup of coffee all the time, sometimes even 2 or 3 times a day. That's like 10 bucks a day, 70 bucks a week, almost 300 bucks every single month. What the f***? After realizing that, I got myself one of these. And boom, affordable, high quality and good tasting coffee every single day. I paid like 10 bucks for the French press, and every 2 or 3 weeks 10 more bucks for a bag of coffee. This is how I save more than 250 bucks every single month. So as you can see, budgeting can mean the difference between this and this. One of the biggest problems I currently have is the following: living and working in a tiny room. Living with 2 people in barely 15 square meters can be a real challenge on your relationship. But not only that. Since we both have to work for our German companies, we both have to work at the same time. This can lead to more or less pleasant conversations. Please be quiet, I cannot concentrate. To make sure that this rarely happens, we came up with some rules. Rule number 1. Be considerate. My wife and I, we are both very tidy. What we do is we clean up after ourselves. We put away our gear after work. We put things back where they belong. We make our bed. We put dirty clothes into the laundry basket, and at least one of us puts away her shoes. By being considerate, we make sure that we do not get onto each other's nerves. This covers living together, while working together is a whole different story, which directly brings me to rule number 2. Everybody gets a seat at the table. We both have to work more or less at the same time, and as you can imagine, the table has become the most precious item in our room. My precious. After we tried many different alternatives of working, we needed to compromise. For the first half of our working time, I get to use the table. And for the second half, she gets to use it, while I go back to needing a new bag in a few months. The point is, if you're traveling with someone else, make sure that this person is someone you get along really well with. Because living and working in a tiny space will test your relationship. So having some ground rules can help as well. One thing that can make or break your experience as a digital nomad is your gear. Before you even start your journey, you should already have a pretty good plan of all the things that you're going to need while you're away. If you're a person who tends to forget things, then one thing that you can do is try to create a checklist. I put together several checklists and double-checked everything like 3 times or so. And to no surprise, I didn't forget a thing. But I have a different issue. I packed way too much stuff. I probably would have gotten away with only half of my clothes, and don't even get me started on all the cables and books. I mean, I have a tablet, and yet I brought books. Why? The problem with that is all of the things take up so much space in our room, and on some flights I even have to pay for some extra luggage. Instead of carrying so many things with you all the time, check beforehand if there are any second-hand shops at your destination. Here in Wellington, there are on every single corner. If I would have known before, I definitely wouldn't have packed so many clothes. Instead, I would have come here, get a few shirts for like 10 or 15 bucks, wear them for a few weeks and then donate them back. Washing them before would be a good idea though. As for the technical gear you need to bring, I have created a whole video about that to make your life as a digital nomad as easy as possible. You will find it right here in this corner. Go check it out. My biggest challenge, especially in the beginning, was maintaining a good work-life balance. When you're at home or go to the office, it usually isn't that hard to turn on your working mode. But when you're just a 2-minute walk away from the beach, it's super hard to say no and go to work. So how do you motivate yourself to go to work when you're surrounded by temptations all day? One thing that has helped me a lot is creating daily routines. Yes, plural, but as easy as this sounds, it's actually quite hard. In most cases, one daily routine isn't enough. In the beginning, I was really struggling getting my work done. My wife and I, we both work in the evenings, so we try to plan to do fun things during the day, and I try to work on my YouTube channel in the mornings and on rainy days. I guess it comes to no surprise that I wasn't able to get my things done in time. So we needed to come up with a different routine. Right now, I have 2 types of days: working days and non-working days. On my working days, Monday, Wednesday and Friday, I work on my business. The other days are reserved for fun activities. I get all of my things done and we still have plenty of time to do all the things that we want to. Problem solved. As easy as this sounds, finding this routine took quite some time. And it is a routine that works for me. Yours might look completely different. I know a couple of digital nomads who like to work for 2 or 3 weeks, finish a project and then take 2 or 3 weeks off to travel the whole time. Everybody's different, so you might have to try out a few things to find what works for you. Living and working thousands of kilometers away from home can be scary, but it can also be the greatest adventure of your life. And with all the tips that I gave you, I can 100% guarantee that for you, it's going to be the latter. And if you want to see how your typical day might look like, go check out this video right here.